The ball tank, and a quick update here before I get a little further ahead. Last time I left off, I got basically the whole body painted. I got the tread painted, the main hole modulation, all four different colors on there. So I got that done. So it's time to really dirty up the track. And what I did is I took European mud here, and I took just a cheap brush. Basically stippled it on there, not a whole lot. Now I don't like caked mud on a vehicle. I like basically, if you go look at four-wheelers, where they're in just dirt, it's mashed into the tires. That's what I was been trying to get the effect of. I think it looks just looks cooler that way, and it looks more realistic, and instead of just having just one big glob of mud on there like you've been toboggan or something. So I got that all on the edge or in the track itself, and then I went in with a little bit of pigments, and I'm doing some different earth tones and everything, but I want to blend it down and get the get a good earthy, dusty type of movement, because I do like worn vehicles. I don't like them a showroom floor, except for that, which we'll get to in a moment. But just wanted it just good, like it's been through, went through the dirt, and then eventually, rest here, and Miss Helga, going to be scoping it out the barrel. But anyway, got that on. So I wanted to make where dirt would accumulate on the side of the track, and I wanted it not really fresh, but kind of dried as well. So what I did is some pigment binder. I just basically took Mr. Brush here, dipped it in pigment binder, put basically just lit a bead of binder all the way around, and then took some pigment with good old Mr. Brush here, and tapped it on there. And then once it dries basically like dried dirt, and also it dries kind of like a little wet, depending on how you want to manipulate it. So anyway, I did get that on there all the way around, and I kind of and there places got to be a little more than others, and I just trying to get the overall effect of on both sides of dried dirt and earth all the way around the edge, because that's where it would accumulate, if it was just spitting off going round and round. So anyway, I want to do a little more. I got to do a little splattering of dirt there, just a few little places. But anyway, I'm going to start chipping next. But first thing I had to do is take Mr. Gloss Varnish, which I always use Future. Future's a go-to, for decals and everything. But I've been slowly using this. Water-based, I like it. If you can actually see, it's actually shiny. I basically just did the half of the tank itself on both sides, and I'm leaning toward, I can't decide, I want to do the white stripe, but I don't either. And if you look real closely at the decals, because Russian Armor, they just actually painted on there, but if you look real closely on the decals, they actually got little paint marks on there like they painted it, which that's pretty darn slick. But anyway, I haven't decided. I'm leaning toward this, or I just may do like a number, like, for example, the 43. But I can't do the yellow 43 because that's technically finish markings if you really want to get down to it. Not really German. German were more German. Russian were more white numbers. So I'm gonna have to go. I guess got to go dig through tank kits and go see which one I like best. But anyway, that is where I am on Mr. Tank and. Or excuse me, Mr. Ball Tank. So I want to try to get some decals. I got to get some decals on it, and then I can continue on weathering, because I got to do some chipping. And I did some washes around the edges here, and then I'm going to start blending in a little dry brushing and all that, and then we'll try to get a little more done on him later on this week. The well, I was going to say monorail, because I keep thinking of The Simpsons when I say that. The mono wheel. Well, let me say this. I picked this size, and I don't really know what scale it is, and I'll have to try to show a picture of how big, they are, because they are just absolutely, 1/350 or, even 1/76. I'll probably go 1/44 scale is what I'm leaning towards. But anyway, we'll see how big it is and everything. But anyway, I didn't want to do a big model, because I was thinking, man, I'll do this 35th scale, because, I like 35th, 32nd, but if I did that, And those figures are, that tiny. I mean, that's pretty much 2 feet right there, And 35th scale, but that would probably be about 4 feet long. It's just one of those. I don't want to make too big of a model. If I do, I just where am I going to put it? And I wanted to keep it pretty good size, but also wanted where I could display it and take it places if I need to and all that. But anyway, so what I've done is I started out with a yarn hoop, and I basically cut out the styrene. I'm gonna call it the fin here on the back. I actually put and this is where I had to stop because there's actually a aluminum rod in here for stability. I got that epoxied in, and then because it's got a slight curve to it, like an airplane wing, and so I did that. I just took some 60 thou styrene on the inside here, and I just glued it on both sides and just clamped it. At this stage, it don't have to be perfect, because I'm going to go take Mr. Sander, and I'm going to go sand that down, bevel it off, and that way it'll be nice and smooth. And after I get done sanding, I can add a little surface putty if I have to, and fix it up. The only thing right here is on this part, I'm going to have to take some epoxy sculpt, shove in there, and sculpt that to it, and it'll be good and sturdy and strong. And then we can add the little lip thing that comes out. And over the, I'm going to have to cheat just a little bit on this. You can see where it comes up just a little bit. I'm gonna simulate that, but it's not going to be too well defined. It's just enough to, because it's just the way it is. Just makes it easier. And I think it looks pretty darn slick at 12 inches that big. But anyway, that's where I am on the mono wheel. So more on that this week. So that's what I got going on today. We are continuing on and just starting the mono wheel, and we are slowly dirtying up the ball tank. So that's what I got going on today. So stay tuned for the next exciting episode.